Hello everybody, Kieran okay, the Retro Lad here, and I'm back with another new book review for you. And today we're going to be looking at something really cool that I wasn't even aware of until I received it as a Christmas present from my wife. And she told me it was actually recommended to her on Amazon because of some other stuff she'd bought. But I'm really surprised I hadn't heard or seen of this book anywhere. It seems to have flown under the radar, and that's a great shame because it's such a wonderful book, as you will find out when I start looking through it. So it's called The Comic Book Story of Video Games, Incredible History of the Electronic Gaming Revolution by Jonathan Hennessey and art by Jack McGowan. Now this is just superb, as you are about to find out. It's basically, as it says, a comic book about the history of video games. So it's got a strange folded cover there. Makes you think it's a slip cover at first, but it's not, because it is actually a paperback book. I think it's about A4 in size, as you can see. So there's a straight away an image that kind of shows well-known figures from the gaming industry. So straight away you spot Shigeru Miyamoto and you'll spot Nolan Bushnell there, the two that I recognise straight away, and Mario and Pac-Man down there. So here's the index. So it's got 10 chapters, and then there. Sorry, my arm's in the way. It's hard trying to lean over when you camera there. So totally tubular, the tech evolution that made gaming possible. They're here, the earliest video games, transistors. This means space war. Cold on the Cold War, gaming heats up. The heyday of Atari, video games' first dynasty. The golden age for arcade games. Video games give no quarter. Crash and don't score, the disaster that almost spelled game over, which obviously makes you know it's an American book because it talks about the crash. Back to computers, this time it's personal. Nintendo, the name of the game is the games. And times that try consoles, from Genesis to Revelations again. Obviously talking about Sega Genesis, so confirmation again that it's an American book. But I'll try to show you because it's a funny one to kind of show you really. Because it's quite unlike any other book out there, as you can probably already see. So basically we have a traditional, graphic novel stroke comic book with your scenes, and it's all in colour, in your speech bubbles and stuff. But what you'll find is that the video games and their art and their graphics are interspersed through the entire book and the stories. So I'll try and find some examples of that. Oh, so straight away we've got like a Mario-like image, but there's more blatant stuff than that. Spot like Alan Turing, so that's pretty cool. My grandmother actually worked under Alan Turing as a code breaker at Bletchley. So there we go, and that's how she met my grandfather, because he was a navigator on Lancaster bombers in the Pathfinder squadron. So there we go, some Angry Birds there, but I'm trying to find some of the actual more video game like ones. It's hard to do. Sonic makes an appearance there. I'm pretty sure they didn't ask permission for showing a lot of these characters because he's got Dig Dug up there as well, but there we go. Hopefully they don't get shut down for using these people. It is really hard to just to show you the book properly actually on camera. I'm trying to flick through it because it's a paperback as well. Spotlight on Ralph Baer, who came up with the first console, the Odyssey, which you'll find, there is profiles of some of the consoles as well. Like you see there's a profile on the Magnavox Odyssey. There's similar ones for like the 2600 and the NES and the Mega Drive and stuff like that as well. So spotlight Nolan Bushnell, fantastic person. Probably my favourite interview that I ever done was with Nolan Bushnell. Obviously because I'm a massive fan of Atari, but also because he was one of the most fascinating people I've ever spoken to in my life. So we've got the heyday of Atari there. So there's obviously pictures of Atari arcade machines in there. Pong clones, a Nintendo TV game being among them, colour TV game. Spotlight Jerry Lawson, who created the Fairchild Channel F, the first console that used ROM cartridges. It's an incredibly important figure. There you go, the Channel F. There's a profile of that, incredibly important in the history of gaming. So here we go. Look, Centipede makes an appearance there. There's the profile of the 2600. Talking about combat there. Apple, obviously because Jobson Wozniak engineered the Breakout arcade games, so their connection to Atari. We've got Space Invaders in there. There's Pac-Man. Donkey Kong there. Crash and Don't Score, so we're talking about the Crash. There's Dragon Slayer down there. He makes an appearance there. Lethal Enforcers, SimCity. Richard Garriott invented the Ultima games. Came up with them. He's in there. Tetris there was. Sonic. It's the Mega Drive. Mortal Kombat. John Madden Football. So yeah, you get an idea. It's a big old book. It's just under 200 pages there. Yeah, it's absolutely terrific. It said you've got a bit about the people who worked there on it. So Jonathan Hennessey is the author of 4 non-fiction graphic novels. So he's obviously quite well known, done some stuff before. And Jack McGowan there as well has got stuff about him and his stuff that he's done, including his website, Jack McGowan Art, and stuff like that. Brilliant. There's my cat Rufus making an appearance. He's grown a lot since you probably last saw him in a video. He's growing all the time. He's still a kitten, but he's growing and growing all the time. And that's it. That's the comic book story of video games. And it's just such a cool concept for a book. And whoever came up with it, bravo, because okay, there might be a bit of a question about some of the the use of imagery in there. It may get them in trouble. I hope it doesn't, because obviously a lot of it is copyrighted, and maybe that's what's put people off doing it in the past. It actually says this book's in 2017, so it's quite a few years old, so it makes it even more surprising that I haven't heard anything about it. It actually says here all brand names, companies, corporate logos, blah blah blah, are used for information purposes. They're not official, so they didn't get any kind of licensing or anything, as I suspected. But yeah, that's maybe why no one had tried to do anything like this before. But I still think it's an incredibly original concept to do that. And I've sat down and read it and found it absolutely brilliant. I was a huge fan of comic books growing up, especially like the Dandy, which I was a subscriber to. I used to get every week. My brother used to get the Beano. My sister used to get Topper and Beezer. Another one I liked actually, Whizzer and Chips, used to get that as well. And my brother would get Buster, so we used to get a couple of comics each. And we loved them. And I kind of obviously don't look at comics so much in the modern day. It was very much a thing from my youth, but I still look back on very fond memories of comics. And kind of this is like a modern adult comic in many ways. And it's really, really nice. Reminded me a lot of those days when I used to sit and wait for my comics to come through the door, and then eagerly run upstairs with them into my bedroom to read them. Everything about this book is just it's just stunning. It is just such a lovely book. As I say, my wife bought it from Amazon. She can probably get it there. It's probably other places. I'm not sure how much it was because it was a present, so I can't comment on that. But I'm sure it's available worldwide. But it being an American book, and my wife managed to get it from Amazon UK, so I'm pretty sure you won't have any problems finding it anywhere. But really, really, really nice book. Can't recommend it highly enough, and I suggest anyone out there who's into their gaming go and pick it up. Actually, before I go briefly, I just noticed on the back there, actually, should have mentioned that I've actually got 2 quotes about the book there. One from Warren Davis, who designed Q*bert, saying the idea of telling the history of video games in a graphic novel is a radically inventive one, and saying how good it was. And Donna Bailey, who was a designer of Centipede for Atari, also says that it's a great book. So kind of nice having those two quotes on the back there from much respect to people in the community. Actually, I just noticed there it has got a price on the back, but in US it says US $18.99, Canadian $24.99. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review of a comic book story of video games, and I'll see you all again for another one very soon. Bye bye.